Hello everybody, Mike Brailswood, Brailswood Woodworks. Thank you for joining me back on my channel. I do appreciate it very, very much. So today I'm finishing up a pecan bowl that I've started, and this one's going to be kind of a, I guess more of a fruit bowl. Low, wide, and it's going to have back cut sides coming into it. So I've already done the outside. I've got my foot cut, and I've got my mortise cut in so I can put it in my chuck. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it off, take the faceplate off, and then get it set up in the chuck and get it ready to go. So here we go. Okay, so I have it set up now, and before I get going, I'm going to push my headstock to the end, and I'm going to turn from the end, because, it's much easier to be able to stand at the end of the lathe and hollow something out than doing it from the side. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons I bought the Robust American Beauty, was for the moving headstock, and I'm going to make use of it. So here we go. So while I'm at it, and I've already talked about my American Beauty, let me just show you one of my favorite features of this lathe is the tilt-away headstock. I mean tailstock. It is really something else. I love that. And no, they don't support my channel. I just think they make a great piece of equipment. All right. Let's get going. And another thing I really like about the American Beauty is also the controls. I can put them wherever I want. And in this case, it'll be right there. Here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is basically flatten out this top side and get it so then I can get a better idea on how I'm going to attack hollowing it out. So here we go. This thing's got a few little bark inclusions and a few other defects that I really think are appealing. I've filled the crack because there's a pith right here, and it's running this way down through, so it shows up on both sides. I filled it with black CA glue, and it really kind of looks great. So I've got this, I think, at the point where I want to start hollowing. So my tool rest back into place, and I'm going to start in the middle. It's the way I do it, and I always do small cuts where I'm kind of digging it out and then working deeper, and at the same time working towards the center. Working towards the outside. So I'm digging out, digging out, digging out, and running this way. I am keeping the tool at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm really only cutting with this small section of the tip right about here. So one of the things I try to do is to try to get to the bottom depth that I want. At the same time, I'm getting to the outside dimension that I want. And in this case, I'm got to go much faster towards the rim than I do towards the bottom. So as I'm scooping out and I'm going to the bottom, I'm only taking very, very shallow cuts. What is critical is to very frequently check your depth, what you got to the center, especially since I've got a mortise here, and right now I still have about 2.5 inches, so I'm still good to go, but it's always nice to keep track of where you are at all times. So as you're hollowing, or as you're making any cut, my idea is that I always use the bevel basically to be pointing at the direction I want my cut to go. And you don't want a steep angle and kind of drag the tool across. You want it to be at a very shallow angle so you're getting a nice clean cut. And as you're pushing it across, make sure your bevel is pointing to where you want it to go. So I'm having kind of an epiphany here. I think I'm not going to back cut this rim. I'm rather going to leave it a fat rim like this, and then just take this as deep as I can go. But I think this lends itself to that kind of style, so that's what I'm going to do. Still got about an inch of depth to where the mortise is, and I'm going to keep working on that. So one of the things I would definitely stress to all you novice turners is to sharpen frequently. You know, these tools you have to think of them as expendable, and you will wear through them. But when you're working on hardwoods especially, and especially something like pecan, they're very hard, and you're going to need to keep it sharp. Your enjoyment of the craft will go up when you find how effortlessly you can cut if you have sharp tools. If you're sitting here and you are having to really shove your way through the wood and you're getting a ton of tear out, you're not going to enjoy it. You won't like it, and you'll end up giving up on it. But if you keep nice sharp tools and you run through, you get a cut, you get minimum tear out, and you get just a much better job. So I'm going to continue on hollowing this one. So another thing I want to point out is as you're cutting through the bottom, through the bowl, you're hollowing it, and you're making your cut, and you're running through the bottom. The left hand, if you're doing this, well, what I would say, if you're right hand dominant, The left hand isn't doing anything other than keeping downward pressure on the tool rest. If you push with your left hand, you're going to get ridges all the way through. What the driving hand for the entire cut should be the right hand. So downward pressure on the left, pushing through with the right, running through in a nice smooth arc. Don't fight the wood, let the tool do the cutting. Again, stop to check. Still about 3/4 of an inch. I want to get this thing down so it's about 3/8 of an inch thick at where the mortise is. Another thing I would suggest is try to put that last edge, new edge, on your gouge as you're going to do your last cut. I took a private lesson with Ashley Harwood down in Charlotte, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. And one of the last things she did, she put an edge, she showed me to put an edge on the gouge, and she made a she showed me how to make a very, very fine cut as that last one. It makes it leaves a nice surface so that there's minimal sanding that you'll have to do when you get down there. All right, so I think I've got one more pass, normal, and then I'm going to put a final edge on the tool, like I just said, and we'll finish this up. So there's total two cuts left. All right, there's cut number one. Let me go put an edge on the tool. Wheel I use to do most of my, put the edge on my tools is a 300 grit diamond wheel. I also have a 600 grit diamond wheel. I found that I had a lot of problems with it, even with my slow speed grinder, being able to put a edge on and not burning the tool. There's a lot more friction with the 600. The 300 works great at any rate, gives you a really nice keen edge, and that's what I'm going to use now for this last cleanup cut. So here we go. And this is going to be a very, very shallow, fine cut. So what's great about this is there's virtually no tear out here. It's looking real good. Sanding on this is going to be very quick because again, no tear out. You don't have to fight with that. So yeah, so that's what you got to do when you hollow out a bowl. All right. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. If you think you've gotten something out of this video, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you like my technique for hollowing out a bowl, I'd love to hear it. If you don't, if you think I'm doing something wrong, let me know. I'll answer every single one. And at any rate, everybody please stay safe, and y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.